And we are back with a lot of action in front of us, actually. More than 45 drivers, if I'm not wrong, going around the track today already. All of them with a time on the clock and a position in which to start. 46 drivers today in Mount Panorama. Bathurst, Australia is the location today, and I'm sure we're going to get our bit of action, Adri.
Of course, and we have a field that has been set to provide a great deal of action in this opening laps of the event. We have Jesus Sicilia and Jonathan Alvarez on the front row, two of the main duelists in Barcelona a week ago. David Perez and Adrián Baeza will start on row 2. Aitor Cajide and Alberto Toribio from row 3. And from row number 4, we have number 5 car Jose Manuel Sicilia, and the number 29 car, I think is Victor Lobato, row number 4. And then from the top, to complete the top 10 in the 5th row, number 50 car Coldo Gonzalez and Juanjo Sanchez. We have some other favorites that are outside the top 10, and some of them are going to bank their options, maybe a little bit of a chaos just in front of them, or trying to capitalize. Remember that we don't have pit stops until the 3rd race, and that is going to be also a huge factor.
Very glad to see that car from Aitor Cajide at the Emmanuel School of India and the Care Foundation with him very near to the front. Very well done by Aitor in the qualifying session, and already the pace car is in front of them as they approach the last turn. It's going to lit up the whole track. The start of the race is going to bring fire, I know that. And there we go, the pace car staying out of the way already, heading into the pit lane, and there it goes. Jesus Sicilia with a green flag, going strong at the start. Already the 4th and the 5th driver going too wide into the 1st corner. Yashar Nohi as well with a little bit of action. Sergio Real, and we already have Adrián Baeza stuck on the wall.
With him.
I think it might have been a bit of a push or something happened there. Not really sure.
Maybe he spun. Maybe his spun is on, and that was weird. And there's one driver that was off the racetrack. I think Jose Manuel Sicilia.
Oh my! Complicated, really dangerous situation for Jose Manuel Sicilia getting back on track, and we can see the 3 that already escaped from the rest of the pack. Jesus Sicilia, David Perez, and if I was not wrong and my eyes don't lie to me, I'm seeing Jonathan Alvarez already very near to Jesus Sicilia as they go up the hill.
And the rest of them are very, very far behind. The top 3 has broken up from the back, big time. It is Alberto Toribio who is in 4th.
Not sure, but as you said, already a big gap between the 3 drivers in front as they go downhill.
Oh, maybe it's Aitor Cajide, yeah, he is in 4th, leading that tight pack that is following behind them. Not a lot of incidents, I have to say, so far.
The car from the Emmanuel School of India already making itself noticed. The number 35 going downhill with a lot of drivers chasing, and he's already trying to make a little bit of distance, trying to reach up to the top 3 drivers in front. And I don't know if he's going to be able, but I'm sure he's going to try to.
We see that Baeza is listed as out. Maybe he's out of the race or out of the pits. I think he might be out of the race after that early spin in the turn number 1. That was surprising. I was not expecting someone to have an issue that soon. It looked for me from the replays that he maybe spun the car. I don't think he was aided by someone else, but who knows, maybe there will be a complaint raised, and then we'll see what exactly happened there. But there's a lot of fighting in the back section of the racetrack.
we must congratulate all of our drivers making themselves finish a lap in one piece, which is great news for the rest of the pack as well. We have a little bit of trouble there with Jesus Saez and Patriot Capital Partners. And there it goes, the guys in front. Jesus Sicilia, number 8, staying in front still, with Jonathan Alvarez very near to him, and even nearer to Jonathan Alvarez is David Perez with Alca Products.
Yeah, and don't get too distracted by the cars disappearing suddenly from your screen. They have not vanished. They haven't go with ET to the another world. They're just readjusting to the racetrack. That usually happens when we go to a replay, maybe that the cars. But they are not going anywhere. They are not retiring. They are still racing. And when they do, we will tell you, because they will disappear also from the title screens. But we see that the top 3 is already having a huge advantage. Sicilia with a 1.7 second lead on Jonathan Alvarez, and then Alvarez with another advantage similar, even a little bit bigger, with David Perez. So the top 3 clearly distanced from the rest as Aitor Cajide tries to catch up with them.
Let's see what happens with that Emmanuel School of India car in front right now. Victor Lobato, number 24, with Ibrasco getting,
he makes the pass,
the position. And it was Alberto Toribio with the Red Rock Chocolate Factory who had to let him go through on 2 cars hot with the Red Rock Chocolate Factory.
Look at Coldo Gonzalez in 7th, pressuring Alberto Toribio. Very, very good performance from him, actually trying to not let Lobato go too far. But Lobato, if he keeps running this fast, will probably have Aitor Cajide in his front bumper very soon.
Jonathan Alvarez with maybe motion pictures trying to stay behind Jesus Sicilia. Jesus trying to escape as always. Heart-to-heart international with Jesus, maybe motion pictures with Jonathan Alvarez, and right now we are watching the number 37, Antonio Jesus Villalon with Healthy Nails RX, chased by Jose Manuel Sicilia. Blinking the lights was Jose Manuel with Alberto Paints.
I think Victor de la Fuente is running by himself in the chase section. He had to make a pit stop. He's still in the race, but he is way down the order, and obviously he has a lot of issues right now because he probably was involved in some kind of incident on those opening laps.
We can get to see Victor de la Fuente with Ocean Landing, the number 25, going around the track and taking on the last turn the man that it's in a direct challenge with Jonathan Alvarez in points. Victor de la Fuente is the man in front, the second classified in points.
He's actually shaving some tenths from Jesus Sicilia. On the fastest parts of the racetrack, he's actually shaving that advantage. He was close to 2 seconds behind, and now he is only 1.5 seconds behind. So now he's finding his groove. He has a good reference, a good bumper to follow, and he is putting a slight pressure on the race leader.
Really struggling to maintain himself on that chase with that car that we see in front, that heart-to-heart international car from Jesus Sicilia, number 8, David Perez as well on a chase, and trying to keep up the pace. The number 19 with Alca Products trying to stay close behind Jonathan Alvarez in the same way and fashion that Jonathan Alvarez is trying to stay close to Jesus Sicilia, but a little bit far away. Then a bit more of distance if you compare the distance between Jonathan and Jesus, and a little bit, and the same distance between himself and Aitor Cajide behind, with that Emmanuel School of India and the Care Foundation.
And we have Yashar Nuhi on the race. He alerted the stewards just before the event that he may not make it to the event because he had some connection issues, but we're glad to see him on the racetrack if that car actually corresponds to him, or I don't know if it's a reserve driver. He shouldn't be, because that's his name on the iRacing platform. But nonetheless, we are glad to see him race.
We are already going through the equator of the race. Yashar Nohi staying a man in front of a group of drivers chasing him, and he's being able to stay in there and stay alive. The number 7 car, Limplonly CPA on his car, and same situation, but a little bit more mixed into the pack is Carlos Blanco with CBD Bosses, the number 6.
I think that Victor Lobato, the group from Victor Lobato, has already caught up with Cajide, and that will be a battle for 4th very, very soon. As we see Blanco attempting an overtake maneuver on the chase on the inside. He made the feint, but he didn't deliver. But now the car that he has in front, he had a bad exit, and he's going to try on that last corner on the outside, as we see now Cajide taking turn number 1 for another lap at Bathurst.
Very glad to see Aitor putting on performance today for the Emmanuel School of India and the Care Foundation joining us. Today is the day that they are making their debut with Aitor Cajide at the wheel, and I'm sure they are happy about it, because right now Aitor is giving a bit of a showing of what he's able to do.
And in such a picturesque racetrack, because this is probably the best billboard that you could have in racing, surrounded by hills, surrounded by the walls, but such history that this racetrack has. This is one of those kind of racetracks where you want to win a race, and you really feel accomplished when you have won a race, because you know that you have faced the challenge and you've been victorious about that against that, because you not only race your rivals, you race the track. And all the challenges on the turns, all the intricacies that it throws at you. So far a great performance for Aitor, trying to hold on that 4th place, and obviously from our race leader, who has actually put again a 2-second lead, Jesus Sicilia on Jonathan Alvarez.
Martin Hobson, long time no see, my friend.
Yeah.
Grateful hearts around his doors, the number 12. Nice to see him around this 3rd season around Mount Panorama.
He's racing in the car that was occupied by Javier Carre in the last few events, and actually doing a solid job. Not very far up the grid, but still in the racetrack and trying to stay on his marks, which is good. I think he's inside the top 20. Yep, he's 14th in fact, so very, very good so far.
David Ceballo Martinez with Windstar Homes, the number 18, as well in a chase, as all of the drivers are, and it's becoming a little bit strange to me that we haven't witnessed already a little bit of a holocaust in the top section. I'm already doing the driver.
And it is not because of trying, because those drivers are pushing the limits, and you could expect something like that happening. But I think that the incidents were kind of concentrated on that first turn, what happened with Adrián Baeza, that got out Jose Manuel Sicilia, probably Víctor de la Fuente with another incident that we really never saw, but it was kind of a one-car incident by the looks of it, because no one else was caught up in that. So we haven't seen that feared pile-up. Maybe the drivers are taking it easy for this first event, and that's better for us on the racing, but that's a risk, that's a danger that is present on all of their minds, and they are aware of it.
And I think they're doing an excellent job staying safe. We saw a bit of trouble, and we are seeing a bit of cars having to exit the pit lane and having to stop in the pit lane to take on repairs. So it's not everything it's perfect, but they're doing it very well. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud of them, the way they are handling themselves, especially the mid group. That if you ask me, they have a greater challenge in their hands when they have to start, in that section of the pack.
And we have a change of position. Coldo Gonzalez has overtaken Alberto Toribio for 6th. And it is right now on the coattails of Victor Lobato for 5th. Lobato, who has not been able to reach Aitor Cajide in 4th, who is actually holding his ground. And Coldo could still contend for 5th today.
Could Coldo get the car in front, or couldn't Coldo get him? I had to.
Clear the mouthful, yeah.
The number 15 with the American Patriot League, the APL.
You can try there, but you have to be absolutely sure. Absolutely sure, and he was not. And he's probably saving the best for last, especially that chase section on the back of the grid. And I think this will be the second to last lap, so he will have a few opportunities at least to make it work.
Y les tengo que recordar a todos nuestros espectadores que nos estén viendo en castellano que también podéis visitar allgratefulhearts.org para participar en las rifas, y si participáis en esas rifas podéis conseguir tokens para participar en el GHA Jackpot, así que mucha suerte si lo hacéis. Acordaos de que tenéis que elegir esos 6 números que conformarán la combinación final para el jackpot, de la que formarán esa combinación los 4 primeros pilotos en la última ronda que tengamos hoy, que será la tercera y la que dura más, que es 30 minutos, y en la que los pilotos tendrán que lidiar con el consumo de combustible. Así que acordaos que tenéis $10.000 en la línea y podéis participar visitando la página allgratefulhearts.org, así como donar para cualquiera de las causas que tienen activas. También darle las gracias a Kinetic by Windstream, que es nuestro sponsor para la semana, así como a todos nuestros corredores que se unen con nosotros, así como a nuestro nuevo sponsor, que es la Escuela Manuel de India y la Fundación Care. Así que muchas gracias por estar con nosotros también. Y os recordamos que estáis viendo iRacing, que es la plataforma que estamos utilizando para hacer todas estas carreras posibles, donde podemos llegar a ver hasta 60 corredores en la pista. Y estamos viendo cómo Jesús Sicilia está acabando, se puede decir, o empezando la última vuelta, mejor dicho.
Sí, ahí pone 2 para terminar, pero es la última vuelta, al menos por tiempo debería serlo.
Subiendo el corte, esta parte del corte que desde luego que no nos ha traído grandes problemas todavía, pero yo no sé qué nos va a traer en el futuro. Creo que va a ser bastante complicado en cualquiera de los casos. Jesús Sicilia, el número 8 con Heart to Heart International, ahora mismo se está encontrando con un piloto doblado. No sé si es Adrián Baeza o Stefan Hauslinger con B-Social el que está ahora mismo enfrente de él, pero va a ser interesante ver cómo acaba. Ha estado haciendo una carrera muy consistente, manteniéndose delante en todo momento, y está siendo esa la pauta habitual con Jesús y Jonathan Álvarez y David Pérez en la persecución, que al final no sabemos cómo va a acabar la cosa entre ellos, pero parece que Jonathan también tiene un espacio asegurado. Ahora mismo se están teniendo que llevar los pilotos entre sí. Creo que Adrián, ¿no?, el que está con Jesús ahora mismo.
Debería en principio. No, bueno, Adrián está fuera de carrera, claro.
Sí, perdón, Stefan Hauslinger.
Sí.
Que se mantiene.
Ha elegido un sitio complicado Jesús para doblarle, pero bueno, al menos lo ha hecho funcionar. Y ya en los últimos metros antes de llegar.
No estaba mal del todo. Por lo menos era recta, más o menos.
Sí.
Pues bueno, va ahí la cosa. Jesús, que parece que va a acabar delante, y nos volvemos al inglés con vuestro permiso. Retornaremos en castellano. We have Jesus taking on the last lap, and there he goes. The first round for him, finishing first. The number 8 with Heart to Heart International, Jonathan Alvarez, the number 34 with Maven Motion Pictures, finishing second, and David Perez finishing third with Alca Products. Very good job as well by Aitor Cajide and the Emmanuel School of India and the Care Foundation. That's the top 4, and you can keep going if you don't mind, Adri.
There's the drivers that have finished in the race, as you said: Sicilia, Álvarez, Pérez, Cajide, and Victor Lobato completing that top 5. Then is Coldo Gonzalez, 6th place. He was close to make that 5th place overtake work on Victor Lobato. Unfortunately, he was not able to do it. 7th place for Juanjo Sanchez, also very good performance from him. 8th place from Alberto Toribio, who went a little bit backwards as the race progressed. Natalie Morti with that 9th position, and completing the top 10, the number 7 car of Yashar Nuhi, who was a long time no see in the top 10. The Irony driver finally making into the top 10. So very interesting race, very exciting, so to say. Very clean for the standards of Bathurst and Mount Panorama, and let's see if that trend continues in the 2 races that we have left.
Surprising, to say the least, as the last drivers get through the finish line and finish this first session. We are about to get prepared for the next second session of practicing, qualifying, and racing. So we are going to take a quick break for publicity, and we will be right back. Stay tuned, please.